Understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're released.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Bianca Romero.
All right. I am seeing you for a failure to appear, it looks like on a shoplift. And since you're already in custody, I'm going to hold you on $100 bond on this to get you some credit. And that way they can follow along with your felony case. And I'll appoint Amanda Bynum to represent you. And your next court date.
Felony case. What do you mean? I have a felony?
You have something that's holding you, some kind of bond. So I don't know if it's a felony or not. But anyway, you got a bond. So we'll run this along with it. And then $100 bond, and your next court date in justice court will be July 5th at 1 p.m. All right. Can I have number 3? All right, what's your name, sir? All right, you're charged with 3rd-degree burglary. And counsel, I don't have a recommendation yet, but pretrial services is recommending against release.
Judge, it appears that he is in custody for another matter and that he has a competency hearing scheduled for the 22nd. So I'm asking for a $500 bond for time credit and recognizing that competency hearing schedule.
Okay. And I will appoint the public defender, order Mr. Mullen not to return to the incident location, and hold on a $500 bond, pretrial services if posted. And then the preliminary hearing will be July 15th at 1:30. All right, that's it, sir.
Your Honor, it's the jail. Just to inform you that Robinson Austin had refused.
All right. I can handle that tonight, especially. Okay.
Judge Neil Foster for the state. I'm just about finalizing and collating all these. Like I said, we were given this information a half hour late. One moment.
So were we, but if you feel like you want to weigh in on somebody, let me know. All right. What's your name, ma'am?
Roxana Beltrán Contreras.
All right. You are charged with escape in the 2nd degree. And looks like Ms. Beltran Contreras also has a whole counsel. Is that true?
That is correct, Judge.
Okay.
And Your Honor, given it's an escape charge, state would move for $25,000 and release to enhanced pretrial if it's posted.
Okay. Do you want to be heard on that amount, counsel?
Yes, Judge, I'm asking for a $5,000 bond. She's already being held on a $15,000 bond. So we're asking for a $5,000 bond.
I will hold her on a $10,000 bond, appoint the public defender to represent her, and set a preliminary hearing for July 15th at 1:30, and pretrial services if the bond is posted. All right.
Which,
Yeah, so.
We'll skip down to Flores, misdemeanors. This is here. He's number 2.
And Mr. Poston.
Misdemeanor?
Your Honor?
Yes. No, I
Yes, Your Honor?
would like recommendation, because I don't have it yet, on Mr. Kane.
Mr. Kane, Your Honor, this is a 1,500 in pretrial services if
On the
it is posted.
on the manslaughter?
No, excuse me,
The manslaughter.
Your Honor, I did not have manslaughter on this one.
Okay, well, let's see who we have. He was next on my list, but let's see, who are we talking? Who should we have?
I can get Kane, Your Honor.
Daquan K. Your Honor, the most recent charge I had was rather de minimis. I didn't have a manslaughter. Given that reality, now I see it. It was just uploaded. Your Honor, at this point, we'd move for no bond based on the fact that it's manslaughter.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Daquan Emmanuel Kane.
Okay, you're charged with manslaughter, failure to stop for a collision involving death and physical injuries, 2 counts, and causing serious physical injury or death by a moving violation, 2 counts, and felony criminal damage. And so what's the justification for a no bond hold, counsel?
The sheer dangerousness of the offense, and I'll get the actual site here in just a second. What I have, Your Honor, is unless I'm mistaken, under Article 2, Section 22, Alpha 1 of the Arizona Constitution, that is a situation where the state can move for a no bond.
All right, what's the defense think?
Judge, I don't believe that this does raise to, I believe the burden is proof evident presumption great on this issue. So we're asking to argue a bond.
Okay, yeah, I'm not convinced that this falls under that, so I'll let you argue for a bond. I'll note for the record that the state's requesting a no bond, but go ahead.
Your Honor,
Judge, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, are you speaking to me or defense, Your Honor?
Defense.
Judge, he is currently being held on a $25,000 bond on, I believe, the same incident. Don't say okay. I believe kind of the same incident. So we're asking to keep that at the $25,000. Keep a $25,000 bond on this
Okay,
concurrent bond if necessary.
my understanding is that he's being seen again because one of the victims died, and so that's why there's additional charges. So, did you want to say something else, Mr. Poston?
$250,000 enhanced pretrial services if the bond set is posted.
So I'm going to hold the defendant on a $500,000 bond, pretrial services if posted, no alcohol or illegal drugs, don't drive without a valid license, no contact with the victim's family, and set a preliminary hearing for July 15th at 1:30.
And Judge, is the public defender appointed?
So yes, the public defender is appointed.
Thank you.
And are we seeing Mr. Duran? I know that he'd been continued before.
And you're gonna get paperwork of everything. It's just not right now. Yeah, so we gotta, but you're gonna get opposite of everything. So
Coroner, it does look like Mr. Duran gave a refuse tonight.
He refused.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. What's your name, sir?
Adrian Buffus.
Okay. Adrian Torres?
Correct.
Okay. You are charged with disorderly conduct. And I am going to order you not to go to the incident location, no contact with the victim. And you need to come back to court in justice court on August 2nd at 9:30 or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
My choice, sir.
Your Honor, the state's recommendation on that one, I know it's after the fact, would have been 75,000 cash or bond pre-trial, but again, I didn't have time to send in.
I thought it was a misdemeanor, wasn't it?
it was a mistake. That was for us. We
Oh,
will
I-
look that
I
up.
heard- Okay.
I wouldn't ignore you both if it wasn't a misdemeanor. What's your name, ma'am?
Jordan Brosina.
You are charged with attempted third-degree burglary and Mr. Poston, you got a recommendation?
Your Honor, unless I'm sorely mistaken, this defendant was on release. Let me pull up.
Yeah,
that
she was.
screen.
She's got lots of things going on, but
If she's on release, she's held no bond. The state moves for hold no bond, and she's got several probation violations. She's got a warrant and she's in custody on other charges. Looks like an adult probation hold.
defense, you agree that that is true?
Judge, I don't agree, but I understand that we'll need to reserve arguments for the no bond hearing.
Okay. So, I will hold Miss Rosina without a bond. I will appoint the legal advocate's office to represent her. No return to the incident location. And no bond hearing will be July 8th at 2:30 and the preliminary hearing will be July 15th at 1:30. Mr. Poston, have you done something else?
Your Honor, you've been moving so quickly. I haven't had time to collate these and send them out. So I will do the best I can with. I'll collate them now and send them all out, but it's going to be ugly.
Okay. What's your name, sir?
Randy Capone.
Mr. Capone, you have a failure to appear on a shoplift case in justice court. Looks like a couple, just a sec. And I'm going to order you not go to the incident location and you need to come back to court August 13th at 10 o'clock on your justice court cases. You understand?
Yeah.
And don't go back
Yes.
to the incident locations, but you're going to be held on your city court cases because you have many. And So you have a failure to appear on a lot of disorderly conducts, criminal damages, criminal trespasses. So I'm going to order you not to have any contact with any of the victims, not to return to any of the incident locations. I'm going to appoint Mr. Grinkowitz to represent you again and hold you on a $500 bond, and your next court date will be July 12th at 1:45. Okay?
All right.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Share answer.
Your Honor, it does look like you have city charges.
Yeah,
Can you see one of those?
that's what I just did. I held him on a $500 bond. All right, what's your name?
I'm Rachel Renee Villegas.
All right, you are charged with animal cruelty and neglect. I have no information, so I am going to order you not to own any animals and release you on your promise to appear in court August 2nd at 8:30. If you don't appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. Comment?
You don't want to say.
Shingle.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Did you ever tell me what happened with Evans?
We have. Tracy Evans.
It's cold in here. I mean, it's a extremely better.
This Miss Evans?
Yes, I
Okay.
am.
All right, Miss Evans.
Miss
You are
Blizzard.
charged.
My name is.
Judge, this is not Miss Evans. This is Miss Bliven.
Bliven. Okay, Miss Bliven. Charged this time with
Yes.
criminal damage and disorderly conduct. No, you're not. You're charged with, yeah, my files mixed up. You're charged with a lot of failures to appear, Miss Bliven. Failures to appear on criminal trespass, thefts, threats, and intimidation. So I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, hold you at a $500 bond, and your next court date will be in front of Judge Bloom in mental health court on July 11th at 1:45.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
She said.
Oh. Judge, Miss Evans is at the hospital.
Okay. All I wanted to know, thanks. What's your name?
Where is that?
All right. This time you are charged with domestic violence, criminal damage, domestic violence, disorderly conduct. And then you have several failures to appear in court. So I am going to order you not to have any contact with Kiera Bell, not to return to her residence. No domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, don't drive without a valid license because you've got a DUI also. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, and I'm going to hold you on a $1,500 bond. And your next court date is going to be on July 10th at 1:30. All right? Okay, that's it.
Should have them. Yeah, you should have got here.
Curious,
Both of us, did we do this? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. If we could get the written.
Okay. Okay. All right, what's your name, sir? Are you guys muted? You are.
Right, Judge, that was my fault.
What's your name?
My name is Joshua Miller.
Charged with endangerment, assault, and aggravated assault. And Mr. Poston, what was your recommendation on Mr. Miller?
Your Honor, I didn't have anything on Mr. Miller. The ICs that I got, there was nothing in pretrial, and when I looked at the ICs, I didn't see anything. That said, I'll look again.
All right, well,
Moment, please.
I guess I would release Mr. Miller if I know he's not going back to his workplace right now. Is that what probably is happening, counsel? Do you know?
Judge, I didn't have a chance to talk to her, but if I could just get 1 second to,
Sure.
Judge, he will not be, it's confirmed, he will not be returning there.
Okay. All right, so Mr. Poston, you see it?
It's in the ICs. I'm looking at it. Yes, Your Honor. The state agrees with the court's inclination.
So I will appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Miller, order him not to have any contact with the victims, not to return to the incident location, and release to pretrial services. So you need to report to them and come to a preliminary hearing on July 23rd at 1:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest.
Okay.
All right. All right, now I see we have our interpreter, so that's good.
Yeah, he'll tell you where to go.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Taking your photos.
Do you want an interpreter?
I'm fluent in both languages.
Okay.
You don't need
Judge, Mr. Flores, yeah, he was identified as a Spanish speaker, but he doesn't need the interpreter.
Okay, great. So you are charged with theft of means of transportation, possession of a vehicle known to be stolen, and pretrial counsel is recommending no release. It looks like he has a DOC hold, so you agree I should not release him?
Yes.
Yes, Judge. We're asking for a $500 bond because of the DOC hold.
Okay. I don't know. The jail sends my $500 bond people anyway. I'll set a $1,000 bond, appoint the public defender, no contact with the victims, pretrial services if posted. Mr. Poston, you want to disagree? Are you okay with that?
This is Flores, Your Honor.
Yeah, and actually, do I feel like he might? No, I guess it's Mr. Lizaraga who has more than one, not Mr. Flores. So, okay, yeah.
Your Honor, my concern here is this is prohibited possessor and history of DV convictions, prior felony convictions.
You're looking at the wrong Mr. Flores, I think.
This is not a suspect.
But he does have, you know what, he does have two charges, though. He has one from February 29th and one from July 19th. Javier Flores, both of them are theft of means of transportation, which looks like what his history is. So, with
I'm also seeing a prohibited possessor in there, Your Honor.
Mhm. I don't see it anywhere.
Another door.
Let me
So
check again.
he's a sentenced prisoner detained without bond. I will hold him on a $2,500 bond and set the preliminary hearing for July 15th at 1.
Your Honor.
Okay.
Trial refreshed itself underneath me as I was working on apparently expired information.
So $2,500 bond and appoint the PD. All right. What's your name, sir?
Diga su nombre, señor.
Isaac Roberto Lizárraga.
Isaac Roberto Lizárraga.
All right. You are charged with felony criminal damage from July 2nd and July 7th of this year.
Se le han presentado cargos en delito mayor de daños delitosos del 2 de julio y del 7 de julio de este año.
And Mr. Poston.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
Your Honor, interpreter needs to clarify. Interpreter heard July 7th of this year.
That's
July
true.
2nd and July 7th.
That's true, man. It's not the 7th yet either, is it? So but that's what the paperwork says. I guess they're both
Sí, dice
from
que
the,
febrero el 7.
no, thank you for catching. There are two different times on July 2nd. That paperwork was mistyped.
Son 2 horas distintas. El 7 de julio parece ahí que son los cargos.
Okay.
El 2 de julio.
All right. And I'm asking Mr. Poston, the prosecutor, what his recommendations are, because these are two different
Le
charges.
va, okay. Le va
Your
a preguntar al fiscal qué son las recomendaciones.
Your Honor, I am looking at prior felony convictions, history of failing to appear, NCA 5, FTA 4, and the state's recommendation based on the information that was in front of me was 75,000 and pretrial services.
And what's the defense position? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lee.
Okay, dice el fiscal que estoy viendo aquí que él tiene delitos mayores previos, condenas de eso, faltas de comparecer 4 veces y NSA. I'm sorry, interpreter does not know what NCA means.
New crime, new criminal activity. It's a predictor of, it's a score for community risk.
Okay. Y también una calificación de riesgo en la comunidad que hay al nivel número 5. Estamos pidiendo una fianza de $75,000. Ahora la juez le va a preguntar a la abogada defensora qué recomienda ella.
Judge, we're asking for a $3,000 bond in this case. Mr. Lizarraga is employed and he has ties to the community.
All right.
A su señoría estamos pidiendo una fianza de $3,000 en este momento. El señor Lizárraga está empleado y tiene vínculos en la comunidad.
All right. He has ties to the community where he keeps doing this, it appears. So I'm going to hold Mr. Lizarraga on a $30,000 bond.
Bueno, parece que tiene vínculos en la comunidad, pero sigue haciendo estas cosas. Voy a detenerlo bajo una fianza de $30,000.
What I'll do is I'll split it between the two cases, so 15 on each.
Y lo voy a repartir entre los dos casos, 15,000 en cada uno.
No return to the incident locations, no alcohol,
Puede
illegal
regresar
drugs.
A la localidad del incidente, el sitio del incidente, no consumir nada de alcohol ni drogas ilegales.
And if the bond is posted, he's released to pretrial services and has to report to them.
Y si acaso deposita la fianza, usted tiene que reportarse con los servicios preprocesales. Ellos lo van a supervisar.
And then, sir, and then the preliminary hearing will be July 15th at 1:30.
Y luego la audiencia preliminar va a ser el 15 de julio a la 1:30 de la tarde.
And Judge, is the public defender appointed?
And the public defender is appointed to Mr. Lizarraga.
Y se le asigna al señor Lizárraga el defensor público para que lo represente.
And then, sir, you have some misdemeanors.
Y luego, señor, usted tiene unos delitos menores.
And that is a charge of assault with no injury from today.
Y eso es de un cargo de agresión sin lesión de hoy día.
And a failure to give your true name to the police officers back on June 18th.
Y luego el 18 de junio, falta de darle su nombre verdadero a los agentes de policía.
So I'm going to release you on those.
Y lo voy a liberar bajo esos cargos.
Order you not to have any contact with the victim from today's alleged assault.
Y se ordena que se le prohíbe tener contacto con la víctima, supuesta víctima de la agresión de hoy día, supuesta agresión de hoy día.
And your next court date will be July 18th at 9 o'clock.
Y esa audiencia siguiente va a ser el 18 de julio a las 9 de la mañana.
But if you're still in custody, I'm going to appoint a city public defender to follow your case and see what you want to do.
Si usted sigue todavía detenido, voy a nombrarle un defensor público de la ciudad para que siga su caso a ver qué quiere hacer.
And that's it, sir.
Y es todo, señor.
Un momentito.
And I think we're done with the interpreter too. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night.
All right. What's your name, sir?
William David Bond Jr.
Looks like we have a warrant for Mr. Bond's arrest for felony criminal damage. And then
Yes, ma'am.
Don't say.
I guess the DUIs are out of city court. So on the felony criminal damage, is the bond $15,000 on the warrant? 'Cause I don't have the warrant. No, it's an $8,000 bond. Okay. Defense counsel, do you want to be heard?
Yes, Judge, we're asking for a $5,000 bond. Mr. Bond is fully employed and he has ties to Tucson.
And the state's asking for a $15,000 bond. So, and there is this DUI, but I think they're related to each other. So I am going to appoint the legal defender's office for Mr. Bond. Don't drive without a valid license, no alcohol or illegal drugs, monitoring by pretrial services, and other DUIs. And a $7,500 bond released to pretrial if posted. And the preliminary hearing, I'm sorry, the criminal arraignment will be July 10th at 1:30. Then, Mr. Bond, I am going to appoint the city public defender's office on your DUI charges in city court. And hold you on a $500 bond on those. And set your next court date for July 12th at 1:45. No alcohol. Don't drive without a valid license. So you'll have two public defenders in these cases. All right. I don't have a recommendation on Forquez, Mr. Poster.
Your Honor, this was one where we didn't have it in pretrial, but I did get in the IC. Given the allegations of the assault such that the victim is now currently in the intensive care unit with severe facial and cranial fractures and is intubated, the state asked for $100,000 cash for bond.
Okay. I will note that on the record. All right. So what's your name, sir?
Joshua Borges.
All right. You're charged with aggravated assault, temporary but substantial disfigurement, 2 counts. And so the state's asking for a $100,000 bond. Counsel, would you like to be heard? Defense counsel?
Yes, Judge. We're asking that Mr. Bojarquez is either released to the supervision of pretrial services, or if you're not inclined, a $5,000 bond. He is fully employed, he has lifetime ties to Tucson, confirmed housing, and no criminal history.
All right. Pretrial services, I think, is looking at the violence and the age of the defendant and recommending against release. And I'm looking at the allegations in this case. I am going to hold the defendant on a $50,000 bond and release to pretrial services if posted, no contact with the victim. or his family do not go
Your Honor?
to,
State would request enhanced pretrial services if
I
bond is posted.
think they have to agree to that. Does pretrial services agree to it?
Hi, Your Honor. Typically for violent offenses, we don't do enhanced supervision.
Okay. All right, so it's on the record. So, sir, do you have any guns?
No, ma'am.
No guns or other weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no contact with the victim or his family, no return to the incident location, appoint the public defender, $50,000 bond, pretrial services if posted July 15th at 1:30. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Your Honor, Borges, Burrell, Cheryl, she refused.
Okay. And we'll continue. Okay.
Just to.
Okay.
So is this Mr. Calkins?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, did you want to take pretrial services recommendation and continue to the morning or no?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, do you want to continue tomorrow or you just want to go right now? Get if we could just get 1 second, I know we have a busy calendar. If I could just get 1 second to talk to Mr. Calkins.
Okay.
Judge, we're gonna go ahead and go with pretrial's recommendation and wait till tomorrow morning.
Okay, we'll continue it till the morning.
Oh. Yeah. That's sweet.
All right. What's your name, sir?
Fire Catcher Stuart 1000 Hall.
Looks like I've got a warrant for your arrest out of Maricopa County for $1,500 bond. And I don't think I can hold him without a bond, Mr. Poston.
Okay, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I didn't hear the person's name. It was so mumbled.
Troy Hall.
Thank you. Your Honor, that's the only thing holding him here. He was arrested on the other warrant.
Looks like this is the only one I'm seeing him on is that warrant. So he may have an APO hold. Is that Mr. Hall? Yeah, he has an APO.
No, it's
Or no,
Oh.
is it not?
I don't see that on pre-trial.
Oh, I see it on the jail.
Sorry, Judge. Jail record says there is an APO hold.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do we usually appoint a lawyer to this case? I didn't think we did.
No, Judge. Typically, no.
Okay.
Not to these out of county events.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right. So what I'm going to do is hold the defendant on the $1,500 bond that's set on the warrant for Maricopa County, and then we'll review the case again August 7th at 9:00 to make sure they've either picked up Mr. Hall or done something with him. And then he also has that APO hold that will be handled separately. So that's what we're doing on your warrant, Mr. Hall, is just holding you and seeing if Maricopa County is going to come pick you up. You also have a criminal trespass charge out of city court. So I am going to appoint a city public defender to represent you, but I'm going to release you on that one, and they'll just kind of follow your case along and see what you want to do with this trespass compared to what you want to do with your felony cases. Okay. And that's it.
All right.
What's your name?
Ryan Andre Johnson.
You're charged with third-degree burglary, 3 counts. And I am going to order you not to return to the incident locations. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, no contact with any of the victims. And I'm going to release you on your promise to appear in court July 23rd at 1:30. If you don't appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
And Judge, I'm sorry, I missed it. Is the public defender appointment?
Yeah, I appointed the public defender.
Or what? Yeah. They'll tell you where to go, yeah. Or you can go take a seat over there. I'll tell you. Yes. Nobody yet?
internet?
What's your name?
Chelsea McCoy.
All right. You are charged with possession of dangerous drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, and contraband in a corrections facility. And counsel, the state is asking for a $10,000 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Yes, Judge. We're asking that you follow pretrial services recommendation and release her to their supervision. But for the contraband charge, I think she'd be eligible for steps. So we're asking for her release to pretrial.
Okay.
She's 32 with no criminal history.
I will appoint the public defender to represent Ms. McCoy, order her not to possess any alcohol or illegal drugs. Release you to pretrial services, so you need to report to them, and you need to come back to court July 23rd at 1:30 for a preliminary hearing. Then, Ms. McCoy, you have a shoplifting charge with a failure to appear in city court from October of 2022, so you need to come take care of that one. And that one I'm going to release you on. You need to come back to court on August 5th at 2:00.
And Judge, I'm so sorry, is that the Marana?
No, I skipped to the city court one for some reason. I'm about to get to the Marana one. So that's the city court one.
August 5th, Judge,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
At
August 5th.
2:00. Yeah, in city.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. And then that was me. I didn't do them in order. All right. So Marana City Court, a drug paraphernalia. That one you need to come back August 7th at 10:00, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. And then you got one more. I think it's out of justice court. This mouse. And then your justice court case is, sorry. What? A drug paraphernalia. I'm gonna release you on that one August 2nd at 8:30. So you have lots of August dates you need to keep track of, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
All right, then you're released to pretrial.
Thanks. So
Next, McGuire. McGuire.
What's your name?
Eric Ruben McGuire.
You're charged with felony criminal damage. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I am going to order you not to go back to the incident location, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to release you to the enhanced supervision pretrial program. So you need to report to pretrial services and check in with your attorney and come back to court July 23rd at 1:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. You understand?
Thank you.
Contact information.
Please, contact them at the earliest tomorrow.
Motion.
Yeah. All right. What's your name, sir?
Dustin Mugford.
All right. You are charged with possession of a dangerous drug, possession of drug paraphernalia. He has an APO hold. Does he still get a smart hearing, you guys?
Judge, my understanding is he'll still get a smart hearing. He'll just do it in custody.
All right. But I will hold him on a small bond, $500, since he has an APO hold.
Yes, Judge, no objection.
Okay. So, sir, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. No alcohol or illegal drugs. $500 bond, pretrial services if released. You are eligible for a diversion type of program. So that's a smart court hearing on July 10th at 9 o'clock. And then July 15th at 1:30 is the preliminary hearing.
Okay.
All right.
It's because you have.
Is it? Wait on it.
What's your name, sir?
Thanks, you gave room.
All right. You are possession of narcotic paraphernalia, possession of narcotic drugs, and dismiss the narcotic drugs because the officer never said anything to you guys about what they even looked like. So I'm going to dismiss that. So what we have is the tampering with physical evidence and possession of drug paraphernalia. And while Mr. Nadamishi's history is very impressive, do I want to release him, or I think I should release him, but he has a Clifton hold. So I'll ask defense counsel, what do you think?
Judge, I'm asking for his release with the instruction to take care of that warrant.
And I will release him. Will pretrial services take him as an enhanced case? I say yes. All right, and he also is eligible for smart court. So I will appoint the public defender. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Release to pretrial services, the enhanced program. Smart court hearing will be July 10th at 9 o'clock, and preliminary hearing will be July 23rd at 1:30. And then Mr. Nadamishi also has no, I didn't say that right, sir. It has a resisting arrest, prescription drugs and drugs paraphernalia out of city court. So I'm going to release you on that one, sir, and you need to come back to city court on August 5th at 2 o'clock, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. And that's it.
This way.
It's. Bob. You're right here. Or...
Yeah.
How you doing today?
All right. What's your name, sir?
Alex Jesus Nunez.
You are charged with domestic violence, aggravated assault, strangulation. Counsel, do you want to take the recommendation of pretrial and continue this?
Judge, if I could just get one second to talk to Mr. Nunez really quick. Yes, Judge, Mr. Nunez will continue to tomorrow.
Your Honor, the state is at a loss as to what is to be gained by waiting until tomorrow.
What did pretrial say? They want to see if they can secure alternate housing apart from the victim. So I will.
That would, okay.
I am.
Judge,
Okay, so we'll set.
Judge, we're asking to continue that
Yep. So
to allow for that information.
it could persuade some judges. All right, we've continued it to the morning. What's your name?
Marcos Francisco Puente.
All right, you're charged with possession of dangerous drugs, possession of narcotic drugs, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this one says July 7th too, so we'll change it. It should really say the 3rd of July. And I guess everyone is agreeing on at least the felony that Mr. Puente should be released to enhanced pretrial services. So that's what I will do. Appoint the public defender. No alcohol or legal drugs. You're going to be part of the enhanced pretrial supervision program, and you need to come back to court on July 23rd at 1:30, or a warrant will issue for your arrest. Okay.
Judge, I believe Mr. Fuentes was identified for Smart Court. Can we
Yeah.
schedule it for Smart Court?
Have to check the little box, and I didn't, but he is, and it will be July 10th at 9:00 for Smart Court.
Okay.
But then Mr. Puente has cases from 2020 in city court. Drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass, drug paraphernalia, criminal trespass, criminal trespass. Warrants. Release, warrant, release, warrant, release. So, Mr. Puente, let's get this over with. I'm gonna hold you on a $250 bond in city court and appoint the public defender, and your next court date will be July 11th at 1:45. So that's your city court cases.
And Judge, you said a $250 bond?
Yeah.
And Judge, I, given the bond on the misdemeanor is,
He'll get out.
no, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Thank you. You knew where I was going.
Yeah. We don't usually hold them much longer than that, so. It's just-
Oh, thank you. You're held right now.
Are you gonna sit down?
I don't. So what happened to me?
Oh, we're seeing the judge.
Do I go home?
Oh, we don't know.
What's your name, sir?
Robert Rudy?
All right, you're charged with 3rd-degree burglary and felony theft. And
Yeah, so yeah.
so you don't talk, your lawyer does, okay? So, counsel, the state is asking for a $10,000 bond. Did you want to be heard?
Judge, we're asking that he's released to pretrial services, or if you're not inclined, a $1,500 bond. The charges are nonviolent, and he has lifetime ties to Arizona.
All right, they're not
Yeah.
violent, but they're repetitive. So I am going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Rudy. I am going to order him not to return any of the incident locations, no alcohol or illegal drugs, $10,000 bond, cash or secured, relief to pretrial services if posted, and the preliminary hearing will be July 15th at 1:30. Then Mr. Rudy has many shoplifts in city court. Let's see how many. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 shoplifts and failure to appear and a criminal trespass. So I'm going to hold Mr. Rudy on a $500 bond in city court, appoint the city public defender. And the next court date will be on July 12th at 1:45 on the city court cases. Sorry.
Your Honor, Virgin Gorilla is not going to be coming to court using uncooperative accept.
All right. Who is that? Mr. Verhen, whatever. Okay. You can come tomorrow morning when I'm not here. That's fine. And what is your name, sir?
Marcos Wilkins.
Mr. Wilkins. You are charged with possession of narcotic drug and possession of drug paraphernalia. And it looks like, Mr. Wilkins, let's see. I know he's eligible for smart court, but does he have another hold?
Yes, she has a DOC hold.
Okay. So what do you want?
So, Judge, I think procedurally, your bond will hold him here to do smart court, to take care of this case. So we're asking for a $500 bond or $1,000 bond, as you indicated earlier. We're asking for a $1,000 bond so that he could participate in steps and take care of this case.
Okay. I will hold him on a $1,000 bond, appoint the public defender, release pretrial services if released, which is unlikely, I understand. And then the next court date will be July 15th at 1:30. Take care of this. And the smart court hearing will be July 10th at 9 a.m. And then Mr. Wilkins also has a bunch of city court cases that I need to deal with. So, Mr. Wilkins, let's see, you got a new criminal trespass charge. You got paraphernalia, criminal trespass, refusal to appear. So, refusal to give your true name. So I will hold you on a $250 bond and give you a city public defender so you can take care of all of those cases before you go to DOC. Don't go back to any of the incident locations, no alcohol or illegal drugs. And your next court date on your misdemeanors is going to be July 12th at 1:45. And that takes care of Mr. Wilkins. Oops. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Joan.
Okay, have a good evening.
Thanks.